Skilor Primary School is in a village near Hull in East Yorkshire. 5 years ago, it was in trouble after being placed in special measures. Today, Skilor is an award-winning school. This programme looks at how head teacher Barbara Hogarth turned the school around, and she did it by making physical, social and health education central to the curriculum. She insisted that healthy eating and fitness become a part of the children's daily lives.
Hi, Jared. January the 1st, the new millennium, my first headship, and lots to be done. The building needed lots of refurbishments, lots of changes for the curriculum, teaching and so on, and we were up and running within 3 weeks.
Hi, Galen, how are you?
The children were very lively, very friendly, but also some of the behaviour was not acceptable. So we had to improve the playtime, the bullying, we had to put an anti-bullying policy in place, and we had to be quite strict over uniform, over jewellery and PE sessions and things like that, and it soon paid off. I just wanted a broad, balanced curriculum for all our children so that every child was individually valued and cared for.
Hi, Barbara.
How are you? You okay?
I'm very well indeed. Nice to see you, Barbara.
The school's been supported by the National Healthy Schools Scheme. Its regional coordinator helped Skilor become the first in the area to achieve award status.
Instead of just pursuing the national priorities here of attainment, what the school have concentrated on is the whole child. They've looked at the individual child's development, they've looked at the health of the child, they've looked at the child's self-esteem, their emotional health and their development, in order that the child is enthusiastic, is well motivated, high levels of self-esteem. These children want to come to school, they enjoy coming to school because it's such a wonderful environment.
The new head decided that citizenship and PSHE should be part of almost everything the school did, from assembly to lessons, in the classroom and in the playground.
PSHE impacts on the whole curriculum. It's one of the areas that we focus on in our teaching in every week. Every year, every class has at least an hour at Key Stage 2, half an hour at Key Stage 1, but there's other extra activities like fruit time, circle time, that build into all the work that we do with PSHE. So we cover lots of areas in other lessons. Citizenship comes in through so many areas of the curriculum, through the school council, through their history, through events for raising funds and supporting charity events, through taking part in daily assemblies and class assemblies. Every child is included in every activity because PSHE isn't just health education, it's the whole child, it's the whole individual.
PSHE can be fun. But even at nursery, the staff are keen to encourage the right kind of behaviour, even if the children don't quite realise it's happening.
Quickly!
One of our objectives in the early learning goals is to be able to take turns and share fairly. When we put our equipment out on the nursery playground, we only put a certain amount of equipment out so that they don't have something each. They have to share the different objects and different vehicles in the session so that they learn not to keep things to themselves and that someone else can use them and has to use them.
Barbara's introduced a novel approach to playtime that's been so successful it's now been replicated in other schools.
Playtime happens twice a day at our school. We really feel it's valuable to have 2 sessions as well as a lunchtime play.
Play sessions are highly structured. Sports equipment is shared out and the children organise their own games, with little of the aimless charging around which characterises some playgrounds. There used to be a mild bullying problem, but in the past 4 years the school hasn't recorded a single serious incident of verbal, physical or racial bullying.
The children need to let off steam, having concentrated so well in lessons, and to have fun. Fun is a very important part of it. And to this end, we've bought lots of equipment, like a huge Connect 4 game that children take out and play in pairs. We have a huge drafts board painted on our playground. We have an adventure playground which we've built in 2 stages. The first part was just a set of ladders and bounces and so on, tyres. The second part was a huge slide. And many people are surprised that we do have a slide because they're worried about the health and safety of it. We've never had an accident on our slide so far.
The play areas are absolutely superb for the children. Barbara and the staff and the parents have worked very hard indeed in raising an awful lot of money and put some wonderful play areas outside. We know about current levels of obesity, of fitness levels have been falling within our children. That needs correcting. What we must do now is to focus much more on those fundamentals of children being happy, being healthy in school. Once we've achieved that, they will become far better learners.
I wanted them to socialise not just with their classmates but with other year groups. I wanted them to feel confident enough to go and make new friends every day. It's very rare that children come up to us and say, I have no one to play with, whereas at other schools, children have said, oh, there's no one who'll play with me, but here that doesn't happen. There's always somebody that will come along and say, come and join in with us. Because the children are so active at playtime, there's very few squabbles, very few arguments, so when they come back into school, they go calmly into lessons, they settle straight down, they've got rid of all their energy, they focus on the lessons and they learn. They really do settle down, they concentrate, and then the next playtime they know there's an opportunity to let off steam, and they do so.
Healthy eating is also an important part of the school ethos. The school prepares its own meals on site, and children are encouraged to take the healthy option.
We give fruit to our 3 to 7-year-olds, but also we give the opportunity to have a hot, healthy lunch each day, cooked on the premises, served by very friendly staff in Kath's kitchen. Each day there are 2 vegetable choices and there is a salad. Children don't get chips every day. It's rare that they get chips, just once or twice a week, but they're given pasta, roast potatoes, mashed potatoes, rice and so on. So homemade bread each day as well. So the children are given every chance to eat healthily. We also have a healthy packed lunch week regularly, where children have a card, and each day we stamp their card if we think they've had a healthy lunch.
The school's approach to healthy eating is popular with parents. Once children get used to eating fruit and vegetables at school, they're much more likely to eat them at home.
My daughter's 10 years old. Since she's been at school, I do always put a little bit of vegetable on her plate, but she's never really been keen to eat it. But I have noticed in the last few months that she's a lot keener to eat vegetables and a lot keener to eat more vegetables. She's always eaten the little bit that I've put on her plate, but now she'll say, oh, carrots, oh, lovely carrots, oh, broccoli, and she will eat it.
We have no sweets. Children do not bring sweets onto the site, so of course we don't have a litter problem anymore, because packed lunch waste goes back into the packed lunches, and the parents can see exactly how much they've eaten for their lunch. The children also bring water bottles. In the nursery, we provide the water for the children, and they go and access that whenever they wish. We don't allow fizzy drinks and sweet drinks around school. They can have a drink with their packed lunch, but we encourage them to bring juices.
I'm happy that's for me. There's no one else in all the world that I'd rather be.
Skirlo is also part of the National Fruit Scheme, where every child under the age of 7 receives a free piece of fruit every day.
What would you like? A banana.
We find that children, when they first start nursery, don't necessarily eat fruit. They're not used to having it. We encourage our children to have all the fruits, to try new things, and so when they come through to school, they carry on having fruit, and there's just no choice in it. They just have the fruit. They take it as a normal thing.
Children learn to peel their own fruit, and they also get a taste for healthy snacks.
Is that nice?
Yeah. My favourite fruit is bananas.
Because
It's nice and sweet. My favourite fruit is strawberries. Because you're not eating a strawberry. Because I grow a strawberry plant every year.
Since my daughter Katie started the school, she's taken a lot more interest in eating some fruits. I'd struggled quite a lot at home to introduce her to fruit and vegetables. Normally that's what children are like, I guess. She started eating more fruit at home. She's asking for it to go into a pack-up lunch.
Whilst the school's been successful in promoting healthy eating at playtime and at dinner time, the message is now being reinforced in the classroom through lessons on diet and nutrition.
Those people who think they chose their favourite fruit, what would you have done? Bethan?
Orange.
Orange. Joshua?
Apple.
Apple.
Fruit waste is also made into compost, which means that the children are also learning about the importance of recycling.
When you put fruit in the compost bin, it rots into soil and you put it on the floor and then you plant plants in it.
PSHCE is in everything we do. It's not a separate subject. For example, circle time comes into every lesson. We take that opportunity to give children to socialise. Health education comes in whenever we line them up for having their lunch, for bringing their pack up, washing their hands after they've been to the toilet, when they're eating their fruit, when we're recycling things, when we're recycling paper. That's health education. It takes part all of every day.
Physical education is an important part of daily life at the school. The deputy head takes a particularly keen interest in PE.
We are promoting the healthy schools, so obviously we do want the children to be very aware of fitness, very aware of their bodies and how they use their bodies and the safety aspects of doing gymnastics and so on. We also want them just to enjoy sport. At the end of the day, we want them to come out and have lots of fun and enjoy the games that they play. Each child actually does have 2 hours of sport a week. That can involve games, gym, dance, as much variety within that as possible, football, rugby, the athletics. We also go to local swimming baths. We do lots of after-school clubs, dance and football. We enter as many tournaments as possible. We make many links with lots of local schools. Any sport that is going at that term, we do let the children enter into all the events. The children love it, the enthusiasm's there. They're always smiling, they're always enjoying themselves. I'm very proud of them as well whenever we take them outside of school and they are playing in a tournament. And it's the social side, being with their friends, meeting other children from different schools. It's about being a very well-rounded person. Enjoyment factor is huge. It's about coming out and achieving.
Here at Skerla, what Barbara's done, she's managed to keep a holistic view and a balanced view of the curriculum, paying attention to children's emotional health and well-being, promoting their self-esteem, making good provision for the PSHC within the curriculum. So when you put all of that together, what we have is a very successful recipe for the ongoing success of Skerla School, and also reflecting where they have come from special measures several years ago to be mentioned in the Chief Ofsted Officer's report as an outstanding school.